South Africa's political landscape has once again been shaken, not by a fiery speech in parliament or a dramatic press conference, but by what is unfolding behind prison walls. At the center of the storm is Michael Sandlana, a controversial religious and political figure whose detention has triggered concern, debate, and intense public scrutiny. What is happening to him in prison is no longer just a legal matter. It has become a symbol of deeper tensions within South Africa's institutions, its justice system, and its political climate. Michael Sandlana, leader of the International Pentecost Holiness Church (IPHC), has long been a polarizing figure. Supporters describe him as a spiritual authority who commands deep loyalty. Critics argue that legal disputes surrounding his leadership and related matters have raised serious questions. Over the past months, court proceedings and allegations connected to fraud and immigration compliance have placed him under intense legal pressure. According to official records, these matters culminated in his detention pending further legal processes. His incarceration has drawn attention not merely because of who he is, but because of what it represents. Reports suggest that conditions surrounding his imprisonment have been difficult. Sources close to the matter indicate that Sandlana has expressed distress regarding his treatment and the broader circumstances of his detention. While South Africa's Department of Correctional Services has not publicly confirmed specific details about his daily conditions, it has reiterated its commitment to ensuring that all inmates are treated according to constitutional and human rights standards. The issue, however, extends beyond prison conditions. It intersects with faith, politics, and power. The IPHC is not a small religious movement. It is one of the country's most influential independent churches, with thousands of followers across provinces. Leadership disputes within such institutions often spill into public view, especially when financial and governance questions arise. In Sandlana's case, allegations have emerged regarding administrative and financial matters tied to church leadership. He has denied wrongdoing in previous statements, maintaining that he is the subject of what he describes as misunderstandings and legal disputes rather than criminal intent. As the legal process unfolds, the political undertones have intensified. South Africa's democracy is built on the principle that no individual is above the law. Yet, when a prominent religious leader is detained, it inevitably raises questions among the public. Some supporters view his imprisonment as evidence of institutional overreach. Others argue it demonstrates that the justice system is functioning independently, regardless of influence or status. Public reaction has been sharply divided. Social media platforms have been flooded with emotional responses, ranging from sympathy to skepticism. Prayer gatherings have reportedly been organized by some congregants, while legal analysts have emphasized the importance of allowing the courts to complete their work without interference. Political observers note that the timing of this development is significant. South Africa remains in a period of heightened sensitivity regarding governance, corruption, and accountability. Following years of high-profile inquiries and commissions into state capture and institutional misconduct, public trust in leadership, whether political or religious, has been tested. In this context, Sandlana's detention is not an isolated story. It touches on a broader national narrative about accountability and the rule of law. The Department of Correctional Services has historically faced scrutiny regarding overcrowding and resource constraints within prisons. Human rights organizations have consistently called for improvements in inmate welfare, regardless of the charges they face. Should credible concerns arise regarding Sandlana's treatment, institutional oversight bodies would be expected to intervene. For now, officials maintain that standard procedures are being followed. Legal experts caution against drawing premature conclusions. South Africa's judicial system operates through due process, and detention pending trial or further hearings does not equate to guilt. Courts will ultimately determine the merits of the allegations. Until then, any narrative must remain grounded in verified facts rather than speculation. The emotional weight of this situation cannot be ignored. For members of the IPHC, their leaders' imprisonment feels personal and spiritual. For critics, it is a legal matter that underscores the necessity of institutional accountability. For political analysts, it is another chapter in South Africa's evolving relationship with authority and transparency. There are also potential long-term implications. If the courts rule in Sandlana's favor, questions may arise about prosecutorial decision-making and reputational damage. If the legal process results in conviction, it could significantly reshape leadership structures within the church and potentially influence broader debates about governance in religious institutions. The case may also influence how political leaders engage with powerful faith-based organizations. Religion and politics have historically intersected in South Africa, particularly during periods of social transformation. Leaders must balance respect for religious freedom with unwavering commitment to constitutional principles. Behind the headlines and legal filings lies a human story. Prison is a harsh environment for anyone, regardless of status. Emotional strain, uncertainty, and reputational impact can weigh heavily on detainees and their families. While public discourse often centers on legal strategy and political fallout, the personal dimension remains profound. Yet the rule of law remains central. South Africa's constitution enshrines equality before the law. The integrity of that principle is tested precisely in moments like this, when a high-profile individual faces legal consequences. Institutions are measured not by how they treat the powerless, but by how consistently they apply standards to the influential. As proceedings continue, transparency will be critical.